Hello, traders. It's Mr. Joseph Trades. Thank you for joining me. Today on March the 20th, 2025, Thursday, for my daily performance recap and summary. We'll start with TradeZilla, a journaling software I find to be quite valuable for helping me hone my skills and learn from my mistakes. Highly recommend you check it out if you're serious about this game. Let's see. So profit and loss. A solid day. 1528.88 in green. Love to see it. The day started with a bit of drawdown, but I was able to recover and get in the flow of the market and have a fairly solid session. Shows a win rate here of a little over 66%, but as you know, I use a trade copier, so I didn't take 48 trades. I took 20 and I won 13 of 20 of those for a 65% win rate. So pretty good. I like to be about 70%, but 60% is serviceable. Let's see how the week is shaping out, shall we? That's the last month. Let's not live in the past. Let's live in the present and see what we can do in the future by learning from the past. Today marks the third out of fourth green days this week. Pretty good so far on the week. 3,000 in profits. Let's see what tomorrow brings on Capital Preservation Friday. The last few Fridays have been pretty good for me. Let's see if we can make it three in a row. Only thing I can do is do my routine, come at this with a calm mind, prepare with my analysis, and be patient, disciplined, and trust my data and stats. I've worked very hard to get stats that to get signals that I believe in, and that's because of the stats I've gotten. My biggest challenge now is just trusting them and letting the trades work out. I look at my mistakes, and one of the biggest mistakes that I note is cutting trades short, and I'm leaving so much profit on the charts. But I'm confident that with time I'll get that taken care of, and I'll look back on these days and say, well, I'm glad I leveled up and got past that fear of losing. But that's a bugaboo for me right now. So let's see, that was TradeZilla. Let's go to the charts so you can see my thought process, how I sort of look at price. So today we stayed between the prior session high and prior session low. And this is a 4 hour chart, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say that to begin with. This is a 4 hour chart. It's the first one I use when I'm doing my multi-time frame analysis. These two candles represent the action during today's New York session. As you can see, they overlap and didn't really move very much, and they were stuck between yesterday's prior session high, which is that red line I have, and the prior session low, which is that green line. And we'll see what happens. I generally look at prior session high and low as targets for price to go to for liquidity sweeps. But today that didn't happen. It just stayed between those two levels. So let's see what tomorrow brings. So now my execution time frame, it's a 5 minute chart. As you can see, overnight we had quite the bear move, and then it just sort of rounded over, and then when market opened this morning, a big bullish impulse which came up to the VWAP and continued seeking buy side liquidity, where it ultimately got to that level. And this is from a few days ago. It nearly got, well, this is from yesterday, isn't it? It nearly got to the prior session high candle. You can see this wick here, and it almost reached that, but it got above the overnight highs. I guess that's what it was seeking, because look at that. It rejected right at the overnight highs. It'll either do that or it'll go to the prior session high or low. I just learned something new, just observed something I hadn't seen before. So, very interesting. Several high probability signals throughout the day. I was able to get a few of them, but my biggest thing today was I just kept dealing with the fear of losing. So while I had a good day, it could have been far better, quite frankly. And so again, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's something I'm aware of, and I just need to keep working on. So let's see. Yeah, so you see we had a bull push in the first hour from 9:30 to 10:30. So this was a range day. So um, initial balance low, initial balance high, and then it rotated back down to seek sell side liquidity along the way. Got a little choppy in here. That was a little difficult to trade. Um, some chop in here, but some nice moves, enough nice moves to provide some good profits for me. And I've complained about the VIX being real high, but today it was under 20, and it almost was moving too slow at times. So I guess my magic number is 20.5. Just throwing that out there. If anybody's listening, any market makers want to, keep it at 20.5, Mr. Joseph Trades would appreciate that. Let's look at my account summary today for my prop firms here. Let's see. Uh, 320. Yes. So we'll start with the funded accounts first. Uh, my funded futures added 140.84 to that. That's over 500 in profit now. With my funded futures, you have to have 5 days of $100 or more. So far, I have two, and I want to grow it a bit more anyway because when you take a payout, I want to have a little more wiggle room for drawdown. I don't want to just blow it right away. So it's a pro and a con with them. The pro is it's the easiest firm to get payouts from, but the con is if you take the maximum payout allowed, it only leaves you with a couple of $100 left in your drawdown unless you build it up a bit before then. So that's what I'm trying to do. My goal is to pass all of these and keep them, not just earn and burn, as they say. I want to have all of these be funded and develop consistent payouts. That's what I'm going for, and it's going to take some time because I'm not slinging minis. I trade with micros, and so I understand it's a different approach than a lot of people use, but I'm looking to I'm looking to generate consistent, profitable trading for myself and for my mission that I have, and what I'm going to do with that is become disciplined and keep these as long as possible. And so let's see, when the other funded accounts, we had a Apex funded account. That one gained 127.42. It's over 50K now. It's sort of been struggling a little bit, but at least it's still above where it started. And then number 27, it added 189.34, so a little over 500 in profit on that. So they're coming along. Slow and steady wins the race. Last week I had some lapses in discipline, which set them back a little bit, but we're back on the right track. And then today I passed this take profit trader account. You have to get over 53,000, and boy, this was a booger. I had it close. First, I had it within $100. Then I had it within 10, and then I had a loss, and it took it down to 70. I just couldn't push it over the top, and the final trade I had, it finally got me there, and I was able to press the close button quick enough to lock it in. So a little too much excitement for me. That's not really what I like to do, but sometimes you have to do that. You just have to be really quick with the click. The rest of these are evals. Let's see. They all have to get to 53,000. That's the goal for all of these 50K accounts. Some are closer than others, but I don't see any that are beneath 50K, which is a good thing. That's the first time I've noticed that. So I guess what I'm saying is, in summary, just have to keep up with the daily discipline and process, not rush things, and face my fears and conquer my fears. And in life, uh, fear is pretty useless except for a few things. And I wrote in my journal today that fear is a lie. And, as soon as I believe that and start trading the way I know I can, there's really no limit to what I can accomplish. I just have to get over these mental blocks, but I'm not going to live in fear when it comes to this. At some point, I'm still a little there now, but I'll get out of that. But I want to thank you for joining me on my daily performance summary. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe, add a comment, like. I would appreciate that. Can use all the support that you guys give me. I like doing this. I hope it provides some value to you, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care, everyone.